YouTube. Well, we took the D110 out for a drive today and she got a little banged up. Nothing serious, but we just got some scratches, white marks, paint's coming off completely, flopped over on its side once. Not much. I was going to go ahead and do a little bit of weathering and help hide some of the scratches that we got. I ain't got one on the very front there. So this video we're going to walk through a couple of different techniques that I've been playing around with. They may be right, they may be wrong, I don't know. It's what I've been doing to my Hilux trucks in the background there. So yeah, we'll get started. Alright, so the first step I'm going to do, this one is pretty messy. It's using the Vallejo Pigment Burnt Sienna, and this is one of my Tester's earth colored paint pens. You can see I did a little bit right here. I'm just going to run that down, nice gloppy coat over the scratches. Go ahead and hit that fender a little bit. In the screw hole. Got a scrap piece of styrene here to wet my marker on. Alright. I'm going to use this fine tip brush here. Not fine tip, I'm sorry. Fluffy tip. And I'm just going to smear the powders all over the place. It's good to have a towel down or something somewhere where you don't care how messy it gets. Because this stuff will get messy. Alright, that's a good starting point. Alright, so I got this side complete, all the scratches anyway, and looks pretty bad. Looks like the rust is a lot more serious than we were intending for. But that's just the first step. That is a thick, flaky rust, just to cover up the spots where we scratched the paint down. The next step, we're going to take the Rustall kit, start with step 1, and we'll start smearing the rust around just in places where you think rust would be. I've seen a lot of pictures of Land Rovers, the windshield rust down the side a little bit. There'll be a little bit under the grill and some stuff. I'm just going to do this one side at a time. Just do this side here to show you, and then I'll pause it and go ahead and finish it up, and then we can look at it at the end. And I'll go ahead and take care of this side right quick, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, give you a quick look around here. I got a little carried away with the Rustall on the hood. The good thing is you can just take an old t-shirt or a towel and wipe it down, and it still stays in the cracks. We've got fenders, fix the scratch on the door. Trying to make some realistic rust from the gas cap back there. Just looks all around nasty. And the problem with the Rustall is it does take forever to dry, so I have put a fan up here to try to help speed up the process. But making this video is going to be a slow go. So for you, it'll be back in just a minute. I do like to put it on pretty thick, and then you can come back and wipe it down. You can see in the light there. Started doing a little bit on the back, get it up around the top of the window. Don't really want it on the window, but I have to clean it up from the inside, I guess. Just light at first. Take it easy, take it slow. See how it looks as it dries. You can always add more. You can't necessarily take it all off if you do too much. Got it all up on the hinges and some of the cracks around the hardtop lines. Let this one dry a little bit longer before we do anything else. Alright, I did decide I'm going to go ahead and do another pass of the step 1 of the Rustall. And this stuff you do have to shake up pretty good. It does have some chunks in it. I'll show you a little bit of how I apply it. Just kind of went in the cracks. Just going to go ahead and layer it on pretty thick right here. Put some up here. Once it started drying, I felt I needed a little bit more. And it works differently too if you let it dry and then wipe it. Let it dry a little bit And then you can wipe less of it off and smear it and get more of an effect of how it looks like it's rusted. Got a little bit on the roof there. And do that. We'll wipe that one off real quick, see how that sticks, because that is a gloss paint, so it may not take to that as well as it is this matte green finish we've got here. Go ahead and put a bunch on the mirror. Alright. Go ahead and dab some of that off the roof. It is staying on there alright. Not super hard to see on the camera, but it's not super rusty. Let me turn this towards the fan and make it dry a little faster. Obviously that looks terrible. It's scary to do this to, especially a body like this that costs so much. But you just gotta have faith. You can always fix it in the end. I guess if I really wanted, I could repaint it if I screw it up too bad. We'll let that dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and wipe it a little bit and see where we're at. Alright, you can see it's starting to dry a little bit. We've got some puddles in the right places, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and take it down, just be safe. Step back and take a look, see where we're at. Again, it looks a little rustier than I intended, but I'm trying some new stuff this time. In my other trucks I was way too timid with it. So this time I'm trying to be a little more generous with the rust, see how it works and how it affects the later processes. Because I've got a light rust around the top. Let me zoom in here and show you. I think you can see very well back there. There we go. Alright, you see that's falling in the cracks of the body. It's hard to come out on that white. You can see a little bit on the edge there below the window. There we go. Get the idea. It's coming together. Back over here. So I did the other side while we were waiting on this side to dry. So I'm gonna flip it around here, and that'll be just about ready to wipe down. Maybe let it set just a little bit longer. So what I'm guessing I haven't done before is keep applying the layers. Needs more and more to get a more realistic effect. So we'll try that out this time and see what we end up with. Go ahead and knock a little bit off. Got a little carried away on the roof on this side. Got some nice rust in the door handle there. So I'm about happy with that. I think we're going to let that dry for a bit longer, and then we'll move on to step 2, which is the black wash. Another neat idea I just ran across. Got this giant paintbrush here. Just had this laying around. I think it came with the house when we bought it. Found it out in the shop. But I hit it in some of the edges where it's still wet, and it kind of, like here, run it down. You see below the gas filler, it kind of smeared the rust down at a natural line where it looks like it's running down over time, the metal rusting. It's kind of it's just a tiny little accent, but you go around the whole vehicle and do that with the rust, and then when you come back and add the later coats of stuff, it's going to follow that pattern as well, and it's going to make it all look a bit more natural, I think. Just about ready to go ahead and start the black wash. I think this is like a ink, a watered down ink, black ink. Tell you what it seems like. It's not quite as thick as I would like. I'd honestly like it to be a little heavier, but this is what comes in the kit, so this is what we're going to work with. And this stuff I've been doing heavier, a lot heavier than the rust, so this may take 4 or 5 coats to try and get the desired effect here. Get it in all the cracks of the body. It's going to deepen that rust the way it appears. Not so much on the flat surfaces, but it's just to run in all the cracks. All your hood lines, your fender lines. We'll just go ahead and smear it on nice and thick. Let it run into wherever it can run. This is the step that really gives the most detail. It brings out all of the shape of the body. The problem I've had with it is it's so runny it runs out of the body lines and it doesn't stay in there where you need it. I've actually been considering adding some acrylic paint to this. I've seen people use that to do the same effect, watered down acrylic paint. So I may try that if this keeps running out of it. But we'll give it a shot here on the hood, see how it takes. There's a lot of detail. It's already making the rust pop quite a bit. And this is the scary part, putting it on the pretty white roof. It's not taking to that very well. I'm going to go ahead and hit the whole thing down. You kind of see how I did the front here. I'm going to go ahead and run down the whole thing. Alright, so here we are so far. We've got one layer of black wash. I don't even remember how many coats of the rust. Bring it up here. Lighting's not that great in here. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing. Try and zoom in here and make some adjustments. Go down the side here, you can see a little better up close. There's still some wet spots up there on that door hinge. Zoom in on that. Oops, there we go. You see how the rust is kind of falling down from the gas filler area. Haven't got a whole lot on the back. Never know because I can't focus. Just a little bit of rust falling down. That black wash loosens up some of the rust too that was already dried and helps smear it around. See that hinge that we touched up and that spot on the door. The fender is looking pretty rough. Need to do a little drying up there. That part looks a little too rusty. Just rub that out. Oh, it's dry. It ain't coming off. Alright. So here we are. Let that finish drying here for a little bit and then we'll start step 3, which is the best step. The super flat, just dull finish for everything. Not sure if we're going to go over the top, the roof. That, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, things got a little crazy covered in this mess. I started running out of black wash. So I grabbed some, what I thought was black paint, and added it in, added some water. One thing led to another. It turns out it was rubber brown. It's one of those happy little accidents. Oh no, this thing focus. I see some of the smear marks and stuff, but I got in the crevices and cracks very, very good now. All the door seams. Fenders were tough. That paint just wanted to run right off. But I put so much of that rubber colored paint in with the water that it almost smeared on like a gel, and you could wipe it off the excess and it would stay in the cracks. The windshield up here is very, very nicely done, I think. It looks pretty. I'm trying to figure out how to zoom this camera. Oh, there we go. Not just a hair. Still hard to have bad glare in here. There we go. Get a little bit better shot of it. Really looks grungy. So I'm going to let this one dry, this layer, and then I'm going to hit it with the flat, and hopefully we can wrap this up. Alright, I think we're ready for the last step. There's 4 steps. The 4th one's just dirt. I'm not going to use that on this project. I think we'll just take this one out and get real dirt on it. Now this super flat, just smear all over everything. It smells a bit funky, but it helps kind of even everything out. Adds a little more depth. See how it evens out the finish, where you have your smear marks and your marks from all the other colors that you've put on, and it really kind of smooths out the finish. You can't see the brush strokes and things like that. As far as I know, you're supposed to use this on everything. I put it over the entire vehicle. So far I've only done 1 coat on other vehicles, so we might give a shot at this to do another coat and see what kind of effect we get, if it starts turning things colors or it fades it out too much. Just kind of curious as to what it might do. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this, because it's going to take a little bit with this little bitty brush. Alright, got the last coat drying here. Trying to move this around where we can see better. Still some wet spots, so you can see those big smears. It is grungy. Came out a lot dirtier than I was intending to make it. Going to try to actually do it very lightly this time, but it's like painting anything. You kind of go with the flow and go how it wants to be. You look at it that way. A lot of grunge in there. I can keep it focused for you. Let's stay back. Big old wet spot. See all the dirt right there in the fender. Even rust in the hole that the screw goes in. There's rust running down. That's a pretty cool effect. Came out pretty neat. I did go ahead and put the flat on the top. It's going to be hard to come out in here. Mainly here in the center. It did dull it a bit. You can still see there's gloss on the radius where there's some marks and stuff. I didn't want it to be completely flat. Well, it might look good with the body being a flat, but we'll let this dry here a little bit longer and then we'll put it all back together and see what we got. Alright, here's the finished product. I am pretty happy with this. It's a lot grungier than I meant it to be, but it's just another step in the progression of learning how to do all this. I don't know if this is coming out real good here in the video. I'll post a slideshow here at the end and some better shots. It's already dark out, so I can't go get any good pictures out, but pretty excited about this. Help somebody out there, anybody looking to get into this, weathering and aging their trucks. It's never-ending learning. Every one I do is different. I learn different techniques every time. So thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, please subscribe and thumbs up, and keep checking back. We'll have some more videos up soon. Thank you.